well, I've started doing some research on the climate issues, but I'm not an expert on it. But from my point of view, as a development economist, I think the biggest challenge is, I mean, how we make this transition to another economic system where ecology is not just climate, because it's also about resource depletion, it's also about biodiversity, so also about the pollution. How we make a transition to this system in which ecology and socio-economic needs are balanced, while enabling developing countries to have more sustainable socio-economic development. Yeah? And it's not simply about reparation and loss and damage, which I fully support. But it's also about, I mean, to put it a bit bluntly, how not to make renewable energy the second oil. Yeah? You know, for example, the Germans have invested billions of dollars in Namibia to build all these solar farms. Yeah? The plan is to make hydrogen out of those solar energy, and then ship it back to Germany, maybe sell to the Koreans. But when you do that, what's the difference between that and French oil company going to Equatorial Guinea and pumping oil out? Yeah? So now renewable energy is in danger of becoming the second oil. Yeah? And then there are all these critical minerals that are supposed to be used for the new generation of the electric and hydrogen vehicles. But once again, it would be the same, digging the stuff up, doing minimal processing that will allow export, and then leaving nothing behind. Yeah? And also you know, once again, we are coming back to the classic themes of UNCTAD. You know, that kind of arrangement exposes developing countries to extremely high degree of vulnerability. Yeah? You know, for example, at the moment, Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, I mean, they are having a small party because they have lithium, yeah, which is supposed to be like the best, material for the car battery. Yeah? I mean, recently, there was an announcement that from a Chinese company saying that they have developed sodium battery. Yeah? Of course, there's a very intense technological race going on now, so you don't know exactly what is going to win. But what if the sodium battery wins? Then lithium won't be very valuable. I mean, they say that lithium is still the best material, so yeah, probably they'll use it for the most expensive cars, but the general production might be done with sodium, then the lithium won't be that valuable. Hmm? And I recently saw this article that in the, I mean, totally by accident, in the website of Princeton University, saying that there are two professors in Princeton, one German, one Chinese, who are doing research on finding alternative metal they could use instead of platinum in order to make the electrolysis the system for hydrogen production. Yeah, I mean, South Africa owns about 80% of the world lithium reserve. So it's the kind of, I mean, there are lots of other problems there, but that country is very hopeful that this will give them a big boon if the hydrogen batteries become more widespread. But these Princeton professors are saying that actually we have already identified a couple of other metals. I mean, of course, it's still some way away from commercialization, but couple of other metals which are definitely much less efficient than platinum, but so much cheaper that actually this will be more economical. Yeah? So what will happen to South Africa when that comes on stream? Yeah. So unless you control those technologies, developing countries are not going to be able to sustain their prosperity on the basis of these the minerals, yeah, or renewable energy or whatever. Yeah. I mean, the key is to control the technologies, and in order to control the technologies, that you need to develop your industrial capabilities, because that's where most the industrial sector, manufacturing sector is where most of the technologies come from. Yeah, and yeah, we've seen time and again. Yeah, I mean, Chile was well, first Peru and then Chile was very rich on the basis of bird guano, which was used as fertilizer. Yeah? The Germans invent artificial fertilizer by inventing a process to fix the nitrogen from the air. That became worthless. Yeah? Guatemala used to have quite a good life on the basis of this the natural dye called cochinilla. When the English and the Germans invented organic chemistry, that disappeared. Yeah? You know, we have seen so many of these things, and we don't want this ecological transition to force the developing countries to repeat that again. Yeah. So how do we help these countries? How do these countries take initiatives to develop the industrial capabilities and hopefully innovative capabilities in the new technology sectors? Yeah? And then we get to discuss the tools of industrial policy, but mostly importantly, policy space. Yeah? Because if they are going to do that, they need to use a lot of policies that will violate the WTO and other free trade and investment agreements, rules from other free trade and investment agreements. Yeah? Of course, the rich countries are already breaking them. Yeah? The American IRA is basically breaking local contents requirement, yeah? Which is banned by the WTO. Yeah? The CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism of the European Union, is also in the violation of the WTO rules. Yeah? But you know, they just do it. Yeah? Yeah, and also the thing you have to realize is that the WTO itself doesn't police. Yeah, the kind of the damage that the party has to take it to the WTO is very expensive. Yeah, very complicated. So you know, the rich countries basically sue each other and other kind of key developing countries. But when they violate, they basically let others be, huh? Because they also have a similar skeleton in the cupboard. Yeah? So while these countries violate these rules, center, left, and right, the developing countries are more and more constrained in their ability to get into these new technologies, especially climate technologies. And then they have the conditionalities attached to loans and the grants, yeah. But also with their debt problem, they can mobilize the long-term finance. Yeah? So what will come out is that even if we meet all the aspirations of COP and so on, what will happen is that developing countries will be basically given these technologies, yeah, maybe at a slightly subsidized rate, and basically be told that you have to make do with this, but you also have to reduce your carbon emission, and therefore you should basically reduce the speed at which you develop your material production capacity, and then we will be basically back to the old regime. Yeah, I mean, that the center countries will control the technologies. Developing countries will basically, be recipient of these technologies, and their development paths that are controlled by what these the center countries define as planetary boundary.